Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. My name is Simon Howard. I'll be your host for Event Tech Live. If you are just joining us, a very warm welcome. But if you've been here all day or indeed all week, welcome back to you. Just having a look at the chat, which we do actively encourage you to take part in throughout these sessions. Ask any questions you've got. We have got Rachel in there. She's got FOMO about tomorrow and Thursday's live Event Tech Live days. Yes, we're actually going to be live in London. There is still time. If you want to join us, get down there, interact, reconnect with the Event Tech Live community. It'd be fantastic to see you there. Just head over to eventtechlive.com now. Make sure you get registration on there and you can see all the COVID guidelines. If you can't make it, it'll be unbelievable to see you actually in person. If you can't make it though, don't worry, we'll be streaming out all the sessions from the day. You can choose which streams you want to follow, and I'll be going behind the scenes, meeting the exhibitors, meeting the presenters, and hopefully keeping you all in the loop of what goes on down at Event Tech Live if you can't actually make it. But for now though, here over on the main stage, we have got using Spotify as part of the marketing funnel to drive event registrations and ticket sales. And to introduce this presentation, I'd like to invite Carl Winter from MCM. Hello, Carl, how are you?
Very well, thank you.
Excellent. Good to have you on board. I hope you are prepped and ready, sir, because the floor is now yours.
All good, thanks very much. Hello, and welcome to my session where I'm going to explain how to use Spotify as part of the marketing funnel to drive event registrations and ticket sales. Before we get started, I think it's important to give you an idea of what I'm going to cover and hopefully, fingers crossed, what you'll learn. So the aim is to show you the different tactics you should use to capture your audience by targeting them on the channels they use the most. And we'll go into this in a lot more detail later on. We'll look at each channel and where it's best used in the funnel, as well as how Spotify could be a great addition and hopefully one you've not thought of. There will be sufficient time at the end for any questions. I think we're going to be allowing sort of 5 to 10 minutes, so do feel free to ask away. So just a little bit about myself before we get started. I'm Carl, the Digital Marketing Director at MCM, so I definitely don't work for Spotify, just to confirm that. I've been working with clients for almost 10 years now in devising and executing digital marketing strategies that deliver, no matter what the budget. This spans multiple different channels, audiences, and sectors, but with significant experience in the event sector, especially over the last sort of 4 to 5 years. MCM, the agency I work for, is a customer acquisition agency who go further to reach your customers with strategy-led PPC and social campaigns. In other words, we focus on delivering new customers, or in this case, attendees. As partners, we help brands like yours elevate their performance for a combination of data, technology, and teamwork, whilst harnessing the channels seen here. So as you can see, from Facebook to Spotify and TikTok, we've got experience across them all. And if you do have any questions at the end, it doesn't have to specifically be about Spotify, please do ask away. So that's the intros out of the way. And now we need to get onto the marketing funnel, which is where the magic happens. One of the biggest questions we get asked as an agency is, how do we engage our audience from the point of inception to the point of registration and everything in between? And that's exactly where the funnel comes into play. With 3 stages, the funnel covers awareness at point 1 on the graphic, consideration at point 2 on the graphic, and conversion at point 3 on the graphic. What we look to do is to use digital to feed users through this funnel, utilizing different channels at each stage to reach the ultimate point of conversion, which is the Holy Grail. Each channel will be better served at different parts of the funnel, and the absolute key here is to use the right channels in the right phases for maximum success. So to start, we have awareness. The awareness phase is at the top of the funnel. The users here are completely unaware of your event or your brand, and they're considered a cold audience. We'll talk about that a little bit more later as well. The content used in the awareness phase should be informational with a soft CTA, which is a call to action. So something like find out more or learn more, etc. This is likely to be the first time that users have encountered your brand, so you certainly shouldn't be trying to sell to them in the awareness phase, and that's absolutely crucial. The objective of this phase is to warm the audience and to build audiences for future phases, not to aggressively sell, and that's something I'm just going to continue reiterating in this part of the phase. The channels that work fantastically for awareness, as you can see here: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Google Display, and Spotify. Again, just to reiterate, we're not looking for registrations at this point. What we are looking for is awareness and traffic. The metrics we judge ourselves in terms of success on here are impressions, how many people have seen your adverts; clicks, how many people have not only seen it, but how many people have clicked your advert; click-through rate, what's the percentage of people that have seen versus the percentage of people that have clicked; and cost per click, how much is each one of those clicks costing you. Naturally, at this stage of the funnel, you'll want to be driving that traffic and awareness for as cheap as possible. Secondly is consideration. The consideration phase is all about education and engagement. At this point, users are familiar with your event and they're potentially interested, but they will need to find out more to convert. This phase of the funnel includes users that have attended or inquired about your events in the past, making them a bit more of a warm audience. So the way that you speak to them, the messaging does have to differ in this phase of the funnel. Here you can feed users a lot more information about the benefits of attending your event, and even instilling a sense of FOMO, fear of missing out should they not attend. Messaging can be more direct in the awareness phase. So that's the real change here between awareness and consideration. You'll see that the channels are similar. It's just the messaging and the directness that changes. And in terms of the metrics, things we look at here: clicks, lead generation, and potentially content downloads. So finally is conversion, and this is where the benefit of the first two phases really start to take effect. When we say conversion, what we mean is a user taking a valuable action as defined by you. So in this case, registering. This is where the user makes a decision to purchase a ticket. So you'll need compelling messaging here, and testing and optimizing will also be crucial, more so in the conversion phase than anything else. It's in the conversion phase that we utilize the audiences that have been built in the previous two phases that we discussed. So those two phases aren't wasted. We use those in order to retarget in the conversion phase. An analogy I use here is when purchasing a new shirt online. You may have shopped for a new white shirt one evening, similar to one I'm wearing, only to be reserved ads every single evening when you're on the sofa, on Facebook, on Instagram, etc. You're seeing that same shirt being served to you. The shirt's essentially haunting you. This is you being retargeted. The advertisers attracted you in the awareness phase. They've got you to click, they've captured your cookies, and now they're trying to push you over the line and get you to convert by serving you the same shirt until you purchase. It's no different when we're talking about events and the process we're following here. At this point of the funnel, users are aware of your brand and the specific event, so you can now use more direct sales-led messaging, things like register now, buy now, book now, etc. But you do need to be clear as to what you want them to do. Tell the audience what you want from them. The metrics we focus on in the conversion phase is quite simply conversion rate. Here, we're not concerned about the number of clicks or even the cost per click, but the rate in which users are converting or registering, if you like. You'll notice the channels utilized at this stage have changed somewhat. We've lost Twitter, we've lost YouTube, we've lost Google Display and Spotify, and LinkedIn's entered. At this stage of the funnel, LinkedIn will be your biggest weapon and where the vast majority of the spend should be aimed. That's a huge recommendation moving forward. LinkedIn has superior targeting options when compared to other channels, and you are able to get in front of the decision makers like no other channel out there whatsoever. LinkedIn does come with a high cost per click, so each time a user clicks through on one of your ads, it does cost you significantly more than on other channels, but due to the conversion rate, the fact that it's exceptional, it's certainly worth paying for. So now we understand a little bit more about the funnel, onto Spotify specifically. As you saw from the previous slide, Spotify sits at the very top of the funnel, offering you the opportunity to grow awareness of your brand and events. And the keyword here is awareness. That's really, really, really important to remember. Boasting a huge 365 million active users worldwide, Spotify is one of the biggest music streaming services in the world. It's actually the free version of Spotify that gives advertisers the opportunity to be heard. And there's over 200 million active users of these accounts. So as you can see, the potential is huge. So why Spotify? Just going to watch a quick 30-second video just to give you a little bit of background. I've been posing with red skies, retweeting picket signs, man, I guess I was scared. Feet don't fail me now. So Spotify is genuinely a channel I'm hugely excited about sharing with you, and one that I think could do wonders for you no matter your budget, and that's the key. As it's sort of touched on in the video there, we live in a sound-on world, and when the pandemic has unfortunately accelerated this, but in Spotify's case, fortunately. As work from home became a necessity, so did the need to access music, radio, podcasts, etc. We're no longer working in a busy office environment, or most of us aren't. Most of us are just in our kitchens, our bedrooms, or like me, just in a spare room. So the need for some type of company through things like radio and podcasts was an absolute must. This huge amount of reach potential leads to excellent cost-effective awareness. Still relatively new as an advertising platform, Spotify isn't flooded with competition. This means the costs yet haven't reached the heights of some of the other well-known platforms that we sort of talked to a little bit above. Awareness building has always been about following the eyeballs, or in this case, the eardrums. So it's a case of being where your target market is. And as we've seen by the numbers, they simply must be on Spotify somewhere. Something that Spotify offers that other channels can't quite as well is the opportunity to target your audience on the go. 51% of Spotify's audience comes from mobile devices. So this, combined with the clever targeting options, means you can reach them when it matters most. The main attraction of Spotify is that implementing the ads are quick, easy, and most importantly, cheap. You don't need thousands and thousands of pounds to run Spotify ads. You can get started with a budget as low as £250, and the voiceover ads are even produced for you for free by Spotify themselves. All you have to do is write the script, which, to be honest, that's the fun part anyway. There's a handful of different ad options, but the one we've had the most success with, and probably the ones that you guys are more than aware of, are the audio ads, which are the most widely used on the platform. Audio ads occur when Spotify plays audio announcements between songs lasting between 15 and 30 seconds. My recommendation would be to utilize this time to the fullest and use the full 30 seconds. Being a user of free Spotify myself, users like myself become accustomed to consuming ads in between listening. Essentially, it's the price we have to pay. As an advertiser, you also get the option to add an image to the physical advert. So if a user likes what they hear, you can encourage them to click through to a specific landing page, thus driving not only awareness, but traffic as well, which is an added bonus. Once you've got your ad, you can then begin by specifying the types of music in which your ads connect, focusing on the kinds of music listened to by your target audience. But we go into a bit more detail around this later on as well. Then there's also video ads, which were launched in 2020. Similar to audio ads, you can buy advertising spots between songs, but in this case, you show a full screen video instead of a static image. Depending on your brand and what assets you already have available, video works better for some than others. It is a great way of adding a visual element to the campaign, but like I said above, If you don't already have that video content, you may not want to go to the lengths of investing in video producing, editing, etc. So the audio ads may be a better route for you. And finally, there's display ads. Display ads are very similar to the display ads you see on other sites, which are often delivered by Google. That shirt I was talking about previously, you maybe reserve that shirt on Google via image ads, and they're run through the display network. On Spotify, they're displayed for 30 seconds and usually at the very top of the Spotify browser. And due to Spotify's intelligence, the ads aren't overlaid or distracted by anything else, which is a positive. In terms of the user, they can then click through on the display ad and it will take them through to a specifically chosen landing page. Again, not only driving awareness, but also driving traffic. Like other platforms, Spotify does offer effective targeting options to reach the right audience for your events. So how does that work? Targeting options start with basic demographics such as age, location, and interests, through to genre targeting. Still a relatively new ad platform, it's evolving all the time, and new ways of accessing your audience are constantly being launched. For example, you can now target users when they're listening to specific artists, when they're working out, or even in between podcasts. Through the platform, you're able to target most locations around the world, including Brazil, India, and Indonesia. We've just run a handful of tests with a client which has discovered that the cost of media in Brazil is extremely low. Really useful context for them to have for future campaigns. In fact, something that they've actioned by removing a lot of their budget out of other awareness building activities and pushing it into Spotify. You're also able to upload postcodes in bulk if you're looking to reach specific areas of the country for that awareness building. Maybe your event is in the Northeast, for example, something that would be perfect for that. Along with that, you're able to target users based on their age and also their interests. As you can see from the graphic, if you know through persona work, which we will talk about a little bit later, that your audience has an affinity with science and medicine, you're able to target them on that basis. It's this layered targeting which can be extremely powerful. Here we're talking about age, location, or as specific as postcode, as well as interest targeting. That's where your audience becomes more and more relevant and the campaign becomes more and more effective. Spotify also has some unique targeting options that are only available thanks to the data they get from the actions users take within the app. One of these is real-time context, which allow you to target users as they're doing something. This can be extremely powerful and can allow you to tailor your ads to specific real-time events, as shown here. The message could be potentially tailored if you know they're working out or they're cooking dinner, for example, so hyper targeted. You're also able to target users by the genre of music they listen to. So if you've already built out your personas, you're able to expand this to include the types of music they would listen to. Again, like the comment above, it's the layering of the targeting that delivers the results. So here, we're not only talking about age, location, and interest, but now we're bringing in real-time context and music genre as well. As mentioned a few times throughout the session, personas are key when embarking on a digital campaign. This research will show your audience interests and behaviors, better enabling you to target them. And without this, I'm afraid you really are stabbing in the dark. Using this example here, George is a data manager and uses Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Spotify, which is nice and convenient. George has an interest in traveling, technology, and cooking, and listens to business podcasts and commuting-related playlists. Simply knowing this information helps you understand how to target George, what to say to him, and what time you should be saying it to. So now you're armed with some knowledge around the marketing funnel and how Spotify could potentially be used to generate awareness. Let's look at how powerful Spotify ads can be. Spotify is something that we use as part of the marketing funnel to grow awareness for a client of ours, Festival of Marketing, which is a popular marketing event. For spend less than £400, we reached 37,000 users and achieved over 300 hours of advert time, which was huge. We created scripts specifically for the UK and the US market to help with engagement, and this achieved a click-through rate of over 1%, which actually beat Google Ads. With the spend of £400, we were able to achieve a frequency of just over 1, which means that everyone that we were targeting heard the ad at least once, which was a huge success for the campaign. What we're going to do now is just listen to both the UK and the US version of those scripts so you can get some context.
Inspirational, thought-provoking, and epic. Festival of Marketing is going digital for 2020. Shape the future and explore the biggest issues facing the marketing industry right now. With Richard Curtis, Ella Mills, Mark Ritson, and experts from brands like MasterCard, McDonald's, Unilever, Patagonia, plus plenty more. Tap to discover festival's unrivaled speaker lineup. Get your pass to be part of an experience like no other this 5th to 9th of October.
Thank you for your time. Are there any questions?
Thanks so much, Carl, there, and really, really interesting stuff. It always baffles me, the funnels when you start off right at the top there, and I think that is a really actual interesting platform that many people just won't have thought of. Now, apologies, there were a couple of glitches just to the stream in the middle there, so if you have missed anything or you want Carl to revisit anything from that, just drop your questions in the chat now. Cal, I've got a question. Is there any sort of specific industries in particular, just from your experience, that have been using Spotify that have done better or worse in particular, or is it sort of a universal tool across the board that's doing very well at the moment?
It really is a universal tool across the board. So it's a case of looking at the targeting options that I spoke through and trying to match those targeting options with your target audience. So we've used Spotify with clients of all shapes and sizes and all different industries, and there has been huge success in driving that awareness across them all.
That is absolutely fantastic. And just out of interest, have you been keeping up with what's been going on at Event Tech Live this week? Have you seen any of the other sessions?
Yeah, we've been keeping up. We've been doing some of the other sort of networking sessions and things as well, which has been excellent to meet new people and talk about different things. So yeah, it's been fantastic.
That's really good to hear you engaging with the community as well. And will you be attending the live days this week, or are you just staying virtual for now?
Yes, yeah, we will be attending. So we'll be there on Thursday, but we're also doing an awful lot more virtually as well throughout the week.
Brilliant. Can't wait for that. Just so our audience can know a little bit more about you, just outside of the sort of workspace, just from a tech perspective, because obviously this week is all about technology. Do you have anything you use in your life that you absolutely love from a tech perspective? Is there something you can't live without?
Something I can't live without from a tech perspective, probably now my Apple Watch, which sounds crazy because 6 months ago it would never have been the case. But yeah, now I'm a slave to my Apple Watch, unfortunately.
That's it. They've drawn you in like they do with many. Completely understandable. Fantastic. So we haven't got any more questions now, but as I say, I know there was, apologies again, there was a little bit of a glitch in there. So if you have missed anything and you want to get in touch with Carl, like you said, he's in the networking sessions. He's going to be live as well in London with us on Thursday. And if you want to connect on the platform, please feel free to do so. But Carl, brilliant stuff. And thank you very much for being part of Event Tech Live 2021.
Thanks for having me. Thanks very much.
Brilliant stuff. There we go then. Hope you found that session useful and enjoyable as well, and you've taken something away from that. So we're going to take a short break now. We will be back at 3:15 for your next presentation. So We might have a tech demo. We're going to have a few adverts in there as well, but we're going to have another tech demo to keep you entertained. But again, keep checking out what is going on for the rest of the day, or indeed the rest of the week. And we'll see you back here ready for breaking down language boundaries and unleashing the true potential of your community at 3:50.